Good day, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss about the pre-Filipino historical source. But before that, let me introduce myself. I am Janine Milano, and together with my partner,
Glenn and Escabarte.
and these are our learning outcomes.
At the end of the lesson, the student will enlighten the different pre-Filipino historical source, and the student will learn the different archaeological discoveries.
What is archaeology? Archaeology is the study of whatever our ancestors have left behind. It features to learn how people lived in specific time and places. There are different types of archaeological materials that can be found upon excavation, and archaeologists classify these materials based on characteristics. This can be classified into three main groups: artifacts, ecofacts, and features.
Artifacts. These refer to any objects made by people during a certain time and place for specific use. It would refer to tools, clothing, jewelry, or pottery. Are considered items for cultural or historical importance because they can provide a window into people's daily lives in the past. By studying artifacts, we can define how ancient people interact in their community and environment.
Ecofacts or biofacts. These are natural remains of living creatures that have been preserved. Examples of ecofacts are bones, seeds, shells, plant remains like wood and charcoal, and others. However, natural remains that have been altered by humans are considered artifacts, not biofacts. An example of this is the wooden tools made by people in the past. Ecofacts are helpful to archaeologists because they tell stories about the conditions of ancient wildlife and environment.
Features is a collective term of all archaeological materials that cannot be removed from their original site at the risk of changing their original form. Features are modified by human activity, can refer to structures, imprints on the ground, burial sites, pits, or others.
Pre-Filipino artifacts. Many artifacts left by our ancestors that have been discovered by archaeologists, and most of these have been displayed or placed in museums. Many of these became instrumental to how Filipinos picture history before the coming of the colonials to our land, and most of these artifacts tell us about the practices of the pre-Filipino inhabitants of the land.
The most fascinating archaeological discoveries in the Philippines. First, we have Yawning or Jarlet or Leta-Leta Cave. This jarlet, declared a national cultural treasure, is the earliest spot recovered in the country. It has a distinct rim that resembles a shouting or yowling people, hence the name. Discovered by Dr. Fox at Leta-Leta Cave, Northern Palawan in 1965. This jarlet is associated with the late Neolithic period, approximately 1000 to 1500 before Christ. Second, we have the Calauman. In 2007, a group of archaeologists led by Dr. Armand Mijares of UP Diliman discovered a foot bone in Calao, Cavite and Piña Blanca, Cagayan. The said skeletal remains, specifically the third metatarsal of the foot, is said to be the earliest human fossil found in the Asia-Pacific region. Based on the method called uranium series dating, it is also revealed that the foot bone is approximately 6 to 7,000 years old, predating of Tabun man, long been thought to be the country's earliest human remains, which is only 50,000 years old.
Third, the Laguna Copper Plate Inscription or LCI. It is accidentally discovered in 1986 near the mouth of the Lumbang River. The Laguna Copper Plate Inscription or LCI is the earliest historical document in the country and the only Spanish document discovered so far. The LCI measures 7 times 12 inches mean and row. In 1990, the National Museum purchased the LCI and sought help from Anton Postma, a Dutch national who was the director of the Mangyan Assistance and Research Center to decipher the inscription. Postma, with the help of Dr. Johann de Casparis, later found out that LCI was written in Tavi or Old Javanese writing system, and the language used was combination of Old Tagalog, Old Javanese, Old Malay, and Sanskrit. Fourth, the flying elephant of Lena Shoal. This blue and white dish with a flying elephant design is one of only 2 pieces ever recovered in the world. It was retrieved from the Lena Shoal wreck site in Palawan in 1997 through an underwater exploration project initiated by the Far Eastern Foundation for Nautical Archaeology or FEFNA and the National Museum. Made during the Middle Ming Dynasty, the porcelain dish was recovered from the wreck site of a Chinese trading vessel.
Fifth, the Manonggol jar. The Manonggol jar was only one of the several stunning artifacts discovered in Chamber A, Manonggol Cave in Lipon Point, Palawan by a group of archaeologists who investigated the site from 1962 to 1965. In addition to burial jars, they also recovered human remains covered in red paint and adorned with bracelets made of jade, shells, and stone beads. Measured 66.5 by 51.5 centimeters, the Manonggol jar is a secondary burial jar used to store the bones of someone previously buried. The lid features of a spirit boat or ship of the dead carrying 2 souls in a journey through the afterlife. Sixth, we have the Oton Death Mask. The gold death mask of Oton, another national cultural treasure, was discovered in the 1960s by Alfredo Evangelista and F. Lana Jocan. It consists of a gold nose, an eye mask, both in great style in San Antonio, Oton, Iloilo. The death mask was made by cutting out 2 pieces of thin gold sheets. The pieces would be placed on soft surface, after which the craftsman would use the point to trace and integrate design from behind. The practice of using a gold mask to cover the face of the dead was brought to the Philippines by the southern Chinese.
7. Bolinao Skull. The formidable Bolinao skull is only one of 67 skulls recovered from the Balingasay archaeological site in Bolinao, Pangasinan. They were found along with several early Ming Dynasty 1368 to 1644 ceramics. The skulls have teeth decorated with gold ornaments, a symbol of wealth and bravery during the prehistoric era. The Bolinao skull shown above stands out because gold scales were observed on the buccal surfaces of the upper and lower incisors and canines. The gold decorations have flat rounded tops in a bored hole in the teeth. Those gold ornaments overlap one another, making them look like fish scales. 8 is the Maitong anthropomorphic burial jar. In 1991, archaeologists from the National Museum excavated several clay burial jars in Ayog Cave, Pinod, Maitong, Sarangani Province. This Middle Age 5 BC to 225 AD jars depict human beings and feature 3 types of heads, plain with perforations and with red hematite as black organic matter paints. It also showed different facial expressions, setting them apart from any funeral pottery, including Palawan's Manunggol jar, previously recovered in the Philippines. When it was discovered, jar number 21 contained a deciduous human tooth, fragments, shells of land snails, and limestone pebbles.
9. We have the Butwan or Mother Boat. In 2012, the remains of what archaeologists believe that the biggest balangay or plankton in the Philippine history were recovered in one city. Estimated around 830 years old, the newly discovered Butwan Mother Boat may be centuries older than European ships that landed in the archipelago in the 16th century and even predates Magellan's arrival and death in 1521. According to National Museum archaeologist Dr. Mary Jane Louise A. Bologna, The said mother boat estimated to be at least 25 meters long and believed that the main safekeeping boat where trade goods and supplies were stored. And last, we have the number 10, the Golden Tara of Agusan. This gold figurine of female deity is the first image identified with the Indian origin. In 1917, it was accidentally discovered by the Manubo woman in the banks of the Wawa River in Minsan, Mindanao. After a heavy rain, shortly after the Philippines pioneered his pre-Soviet age, Audley Bayer declared that it the most spectacular find yet made in Philippines archaeology. The a gold Agusan image which measures 5.5 inches tall and weighs nearly 4 pounds of 24-karat gold is now displayed in the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, USA.
And that's all for our presentation, and thank you for listening.